Hey everybody, welcome back to Additional Ink. It is time for another episode of the Ink Tank. I am joined here today by Eric Ocean's Tempest, as always, Matt Majo Basil, one of our own, and the fabulous Enchanted Kim, who some would say maybe should be Iconic Kim, but I know that's a branding issue.
I dig that.
Kim is a friend of ours at Additional Ink. We hang out at the DLCs. We do Ice Cream Social together. Honestly, I just consider Kim part of Additional Ink anyway, even though I'm super jealous of that amber shirt.
Are you? I feel like you'd want like a steel or sapphire one, but that's okay.
It's a fair point.
Well, you're talking to a room full of blue sapphire steel players, so I do have my sapphire puzzle ready to go, but I have not put together yet.
You haven't cracked that open yet,
No.
Jeff?
No, we're going to do...
finish the steel one?
I did do a steel one, but we were supposed to do a puzzle stream on Ice Cream Social, and I don't know if we're ever going to actually coordinate it or what, but that was the plan. Non-stop puzzle stream. We're trying to beat JDZ's time.
Nice.
So for anyone who's not familiar with you, Kim, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Enchanted Kim. I mainly bring the girly pop vibes to Disney Lorcana, mainly focusing on social play, going to events, but recently I've gotten into my competitive era, which I think is going to be amplified even more with that new Tinkerbell playmat. I was like, this is too girly pop coded. I'm gonna fight all you guys for those playmats. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, excited to be on.
Awesome. So today we're gonna go over our top 10 cards, or our top picks for Winterspell. Not necessarily 10 cards, but how are you guys feeling about the set? It's right around the corner. You guys hype?
I'm definitely excited. It introduces a lot new cards and opportunity for Amber and Ruby to get back to the meta. So I'm definitely excited to see how the meta diverges with all these new color pairings.
I would agree with that. I'm excited. I can't wait. And I'm particularly excited about the fact that I don't think Amethyst got that many strong cards this set. I think that, it's going to allow the other inks to be elevated. And I think this is a long time coming. So it's going to be a nice fresh meta, and I'm pumped.
Kim, you got to be stoked. The possible return of Amber Steel.
I'm so hyped. I clearly am a huge Amber fan, so I am very excited to see Amber gets so much love this set. On top of just like the winter vibes are just so cute, and the themes for the set is just overall like really adorable. I feel like some of the best cards are like some of the cutest cards in Disney Lorcana. So I'm ready to see at top tables be like, I'm gonna play this cute little snowman.
I'm not sure what Ravensburger did, but we've all been experiencing in most places some extra winter weather in preparation for Winterspell. So I hope everybody's been staying warm. I'm really excited. Amber, I think, is the clear winner of the set. We did get some cool stuff in Sapphire and Steel. We're big Sapphire Steel gamers here, so we might be playing some Amber this set though.
Time to branch out for me.
Time to branch out? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mentioned to you guys last time, I was planning on branching out from Sapphire Steel, and then they printed Cinderella. So I was like, they just pulled me right back in. So I'm going to try some new stuff this time around.
We almost got Kim into Sapphire and Steel with Cinderella. We were this close.
Literally this close. And then they were just like, Amber? Hello? But they didn't print a new Amber Cinderella. We're going to talk about her later, where I call her Cinderella Diet Cinderella.
Diet Cinderella, okay.
Diet Cinderella.
So Kim, we haven't seen you since Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
Always fun to see you and hang out at the DLCs and everything. I'm trying to think if there's a funny story from DLC Richmond. I know we had a funny story from Milwaukee where we got sent on a wild goose chase trying to find a restaurant. I do remember that.
Yes. I feel like Richmond was a lot more chill vibes.
It was a lot more put together.
It was a lot more put together. Yeah. I think the only funny story I can really think about was, if you guys have noticed at Additional Ink's recent videos and thumbnails, the thumbnails have recently gotten better, and that's thanks to me and some pictures. But trying to get you guys all together for those photos, oh my goodness.
We did not even get everybody.
We thought we didn't even finish. Because it wasn't even that because I know I had plans, but it wasn't even that. It was like literally we had left the hotel a little bit later because it was also pouring rain that morning.
Mm-hmm. We had to drive.
So we're like, we're going to drive. And then that parking situation. And that it was like by the time we got there and I took a couple pictures, I at least got the group shot. I think that was like the big one. But then it was just like, okay, your pairings are ready to go. And I was like, okay, bye guys.
Well, we'll have another chance at Indy to maybe get everybody else squared away. You guys excited for Indy Infinity format? I know I am.
It'll be interesting. We have no idea what anything is going to look like the next set, as well as with this one.
Hiram and Fortisphere's legal. What are you talking about? At all costs.
I think for me, there's just so many permutations that it's just overwhelming. I'm like, I'm just going to focus on core for now. And then we'll decide later if we want to, a ticket to Indy.
That's fair. I mean, I've got Ghent coming up in March. Me and Cam are going, so like we're really heavily looking at these new cards and how they're.
Is Ghent Infinite?
No, Ghent is core. And it's the first week of March.
Sorry, I'm lagging a little bit.
You're good. So we've got about 2 weeks after the set releases to figure out what we're doing and then get on that plane to Belgium.
Crazy. I just imagine you still on the plane, like you and Cam are sitting next to each other and like being like, okay, bro, like what about this card? Should we slot that into our deck? Nah, try this card. Like that's all I imagined the whole time.
So Cam booked our flights and he told me he like picked our seating. And so he put us like, both got aisle seats next to each other. So we have like, can like stretch out in the aisle a little bit. So that totally is a possibility. And I think we might actually meet up with Oceans and do a day at like Disney the day before we fly. So maybe we'll deck tech the day before we fly with Oceans.
That's a great idea. I'd watch it.
Deck tech at Disney sounds so magical. I was like, dang, I want to do that.
Join us at Epcot.
Pay for my flight.
No.
Well, we got to get a little more views before we can start flying people everywhere. We're trying. We're trying. This is a labor of love.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys ready to get into some cards?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it, man.
All right, let me share this screen here. Oops, hold on. There we go. Nope. I was about to share the screen that has all your faces on it. Look, it's Winterspell. All right, so we're starting off. We got some honorable mentions. These are cards that we all liked, and I tagged everybody, so we're holding everybody accountable. We added them down at the bottom so you can see who likes what. But these are honorable mentions that we didn't include in the top 10. But we like them for different reasons. I'm going to start off with Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck is cool under pressure. I'm just a huge fan. If you've seen me on Discord over the last year, that's been my profile picture until I changed it recently to an awesome picture that Kim took. And now that he's in the game, I no longer have to like subconsciously be like, hey guys, he needs to be there. He needs to be there. He needs to be there. We got a lot of cool synergies with Darkwing Duck, from the Thunderquack to the different items. Whether that's going to be competitively viable or not, I don't know. We'll see, but I'm super stoked for Darkwing, and I've had a lot of fun testing him so far. Eric, tell me about your honorable mention.
So mine is Sarabi. Basically, when you exert her, you give an opposing character -4 until your next turn. So I've been testing a lot of Amber Ruby this set. I think got a lot of spice. Sarabi has been absolutely phenomenal in that list. It pairs well with the 3-drop Sisu that banishes a 1-cost or 1-power character, as well as the Headless Horseman. So she allows you to remove things such as Pete's or opposing stitches that are very high value in terms of card draw. She also serves as kind of like a defense unit when you're questing out. So, for example, I've used her in reduced opposing Calhouns so they can't get positive trades. And it makes trading on your opponent's side very awkward. And it's definitely something that I thought this card has absolutely stood out just in my Amber Ruby testing.
All right. Kim, I really like the card that you picked. I was very sad that we did not get a 1-drop shift target. Otherwise, I think this card would 100% be everywhere. But tell me about it.
Maybe next set. But the reason I really love this card, besides it just being so cute, Piglet making hot cocoa adorable, is funny story. So Jeff, you remember in Richmond, we were given hot cocoa bombs from Stardust?
Yeah, Stardust game.
So the day, it was like a really chilly day here in Seattle. I'm painting the picture here for you guys. It was a very chilly day in Seattle.
Would you say it was
oddly enough,
Winterspell?
It was very Winterspell.
Yeah, okay.
Lorcana, Disney Lorcana, Ravensburger, their marketing team, I don't know what they did, who they paid off to like cause it to be a total Winterspell, but they did. Very chilly day. And I was just like, today's the day to finally drink that hot cocoa, like use the hot cocoa bomb that Heather gave us. And oddly enough, it was the day that they announced this Cocoa Maker card. And I'm like, perfect. So now I associate this with a good memory of Heather and the hot cocoa bomb she gave me. And I got like a pastel lilac-y one, and that just fits the vibe of this card. It's cute. I love it. So that's why I love this card.
So she gave us these cocoa bombs, and she had added coloring to them. So each one was like a different ink color, but you wouldn't know until you got it. And I actually got the sapphire one, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Matt, I put you last because I do like this card, but I'm upset that Hey went missing off the iconic art. So I'm just going to hold that against him.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a travesty. Sapphire loves the Moana franchise. You know, we've got Tamatoa, Grammatala, How Far I'll Go, and now this, legendary Moana. But I think this card is really strong, and some testing that I've done. I said earlier, I love Cinderella, right? You play Cinderella after your turn 2 rank, play Cindy on 3. This Moana, on turn, 4, you can immediately trigger her ability, right? So you're inking from your discard pile. And then you can trigger Cindy because she is a princess, and it's just sort of like filtering, but with a little bit of card advantage. So it's kind of like drawing a half a card per turn extra. I don't know. So I think this is really strong. I'm really, really hyped about this Moana.
Yeah, I think this Moana has the potential to be in a lot of Sapphire decks. It's just going to matter what, honestly, kind of what the ramp looks like going forward, like post-rotation and stuff like that. Just, I think, for her.
Yeah.
For these are honorable mentions. We're going to move right into our top 10. So just for every viewers at home, we have an additional ink top 10 that we picked. And then Kim brought her top 5, which is going to get mixed in with ours once we get there. So Kim, don't feel like you're left out for the first 5. Feel free to chime in. Our first one is Copper. He's on the scent. He's Rush Reckless. This is just New Maui. hey, wake up. New Maui just dropped.
Pretty good. I do love me some Fox and the Hound. I agree. This is definitely, I think, the closest thing to Maui, you know, what Maui Hero to All was. So this is pretty much going to banish any character, right? Does anything even survive a hit from Copper? I'm not sure that it does.
Mufasa.
Giant Mickey.
Blue Fasa.
Blue Fossa. He has 9, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Willpower. So, you know, aside from some fringe cards, I think this Copper is he's gonna take anything out. So it's probably 1 for 1 most things, and seems very strong.
He's not touching Goofy Knife for a day. Just saying.
I would think it was a Giant Mickey. The like 10.
Oh yeah. Kaiju Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey would live.
I think Ruby sees a return, which I think it might. This card is just going to be everywhere for a while. I was really enjoying Ruby not having Maui, but those days are over.
No, I think this one's pretty fair. Like, having a 6 cost is definitely a turn behind what Maui was. So it definitely gives more, I guess, room for an opposing player to not have to worry about it right away.
That's fair. Kim, thoughts?
I do think, Ruby needed this. It's kind of like an inkable Dragonfire in a way. Yeah, what do you think, Kim?
I am just a little scared thinking about, Amber Steel. One of the biggest enemies was Ruby Sapphire. And I'm just like, ugh. Like how you said, Matt, Sapphire can just like ink really fast now. I'm like, even though Ocean, you said it's a turn later, I'm like, that's still really early. With the Moana and the Cindy, if they do like a Ruby Sapphire sort of thing, this could be out on like turn 3, and that's scary, and I don't like it.
I guess just be happy it doesn't have the Scar Vicious Cheater ability where it would just ready after each banishment, because then it would be extremely gross.
Lots of crash outs there.
I do think that cards like this, they definitely increase Sapphire Ruby's competitive viability, because it's just another answer. Like I said before, I mean, as long as you have, a fair amount of cards in your hand, like this is going to take something out. Whatever you need to point and click, remove, it's going to be gone. You don't have to deal with it anymore, and then you just, keep going your game plan. So I think this definitely makes Ruby much more viable than it has. Plus another card I think we'll see later in the list.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell if Cooper is in fact the goodest boy, and he can always smell his way back or not. Oh no, I clicked on the wrong thing. It didn't go next. Number 9 is Belle, Snowfield Strategist. Big fan of Belle, Beauty and the Beast franchise. We've always had Belle in Sapphire, where she belongs. No other color should steal Belle. Just saying. But whenever one of your characters is banished, you may put that card from your discard into your Inkwell face down and exert it. So this is a good card into like your Prince Philip combo. There's also an important distinction that it goes to the discard and then to the Inkwell. So any card that has like an on banish effect still activates, and then it comes to the Inkwell.
Yeah. I like that they clarified that. And they actually touched on this in one of their recent lore casts or main stages, I want to say. They actually had to be more explicit in specifying it actually goes to the discard first. It doesn't just return to it doesn't go to a new zone from play. So there's that technically an extra step in there. I'm glad they added that. I think that's smart.
I like this card because specifically in Blue Steel, it can serve as kind of like an additional Cindy. So you can have your Poker Mulan, whatever your 1-drop is, maybe your Tipo, trade in to your opposing character's board, and then it like ramps you up so you can do that turn for 6-drop. So it's just another way for us to get more consistency in our deck. But this also synergizes very well in the Amber Sapphire deck by helping them ramp to get to that new board wipe faster.
Yeah. And then
Sapphire Amber Princesses, they're cooking this set.
Right. And then we're going to just slam down Mufasa because we'll have 17 ink.
Yeah. He's royalty. It counts.
Yeah. You guys didn't know this, but Maurice taught Bill how to throw the perfect snowball.
Where's Cogsworth in all of this?
That's what fathers do.
Cogsworth, you know what? You guys talk about this card for a minute. I will go get him.
Belle is a princess, and we have Cinderella, we got Moana. I'm like seriously considering making a deck with the Fairy Godmother's magic wand. It gives anytime you ink, it gives your princess's ward. I'm like, because you can double ink with Cindy, you can give 2 princesses ward. How about that? Princess Rant coming.
Also, in Amber Sapphire, you can use Queen Censor Court, which I believe gets princesses.
princesses and queens.
So
Every time I think about that card, a Tempest, I think about your run-in with it in Milwaukee.
Wait,
I'm
what
sorry
happened
to
in
remind you.
Milwaukee?
So I lost my winning into day 2 to Amber Steel Queen Sensor Core. I had no item removal. I didn't have Arthur's either. So I just watched my opponent use his Queen Sensor Core turn after turn, putting more characters to the board, passing turn.
And
I
getting
was like,
lore,
I can't
right?
do anything.
It's free lore.
My tinks have nothing to do. I'm not seeing my removal. I can't race it.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to sit there and watch,
That's wild. I kind of love that for them, though.
which is why I play Plutos now. Never again.
Never again. You're like, I'll even throw in a Benja in there too, just for extra safety.
But yeah, this spell's really cool. I also think that, to add on to your point, Tempest, similar to Cindy, this is a card you can play after turn 2 ramp, and it's not guaranteed like Cindy is to get you to 6 ink on turn 4. But it is another path to doing that without having to play Pleakley, for example. And the other thing, I think that if your opponent knows you're on this card, they might not quest or turn their guys sideways, knowing that if you trade in your 1-drop, that's going to allow you to ramp. So there might be some lore they leave on the table if they're really worried about you're getting your bombs out sooner on turn 4. So
Yeah, definitely. It's a weird kind of strategic pattern where they don't want to give you value off of ramping, so they might slow down their turn. But then it allows us to set up our aerials and tinks maybe to be able to establish those large bodies where they're like, oh man, I wasn't able to squeak that extra lore and now I'm kind of behind.
yeah, for sure.
So
What you got for us, Jeff?
I brought Cogsworth, but I probably should advance the card before I left. I just realized that I took way
It's
too
all good.
long.
We had a
I'm
good
sorry.
dialogue.
Yeah. You're talking about princesses. We were talking about oceans, Milwaukee, trauma. It's all good.
That's what I'm talking about.
PTSD.
Yeah.
Speaking of PTSD-inducing cards, we got Grab Your Bow. You guys remember Sisu, right? We're going to do it twice now.
Yeah, double brawl in a song. I think this card's very strong. I think it, Copper, I think, it definitely bolsters Ruby. I think Ruby really needed a card like this.
I just want it Grab Your Swords back. Grab your sword back. I wanted it back so bad. And it needed to be grab your bigger sword and, 4 damage. And instead we got this. I think it's great for Ruby. Not what I personally wanted though.
It does make me want to try Ruby Sapphire though.
I did a little bit of testing. It's a fun deck to play. I think I got up to 18 ink and my opponent it was a mirror match. They had got up to 23. And we came out on top because they got double Cindy's down at one point and this just took out both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, Kim, thoughts?
I think it's good. It definitely brings viability to red-blue again. My worry is if I'm a red-blue player, I don't want to see anything with Mowgli. I don't want to see anything with Ursula, just because they will rip this, and you'll be like, cool, now I have to struggle to remove things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. Part of me is at least happy it's a non-inkable card. Because again, I don't really like playing Ruby. That's usually what I just like playing against. So I'm just I have a non-inkable card in your hand, please.
So, you guys know what the title of the song is, right?
What is the
Is it
title
a
of the
mob
song?
It's the mob song.
Sure, the mob song, yeah.
So as we continue to get lines from this, right? You can grab your sword, grab your bow, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of lyrics in there we'll kill the beast, this, that, and the other. Do you think we'll ever get a card that says grab your knives, grab your gun, or bring your knives, bring your guns?
No.
Is that in the song?
I mean, how are we? That's in the song.
Well, maybe. I mean, they just run the line by line, the lyrics.
No, let's say grab your chainsaw before then.
Is it chainsaw in there?
No, but Darkwing Duck has one.
We could get if we went and got a bigger grab your swords, it could be the line, here we come, we're 50 strong.
Oh,
see that.
yeah, I like that. Tempest, just to touch on what you said, it's funny, you mentioned Ursula or Mowgli. It's even in the pre-rotation meta, there was always that dance of do I keep my songs? Do I throw them all back? If I have 2, do I just keep both of them? Because if they do Ursula, me, at least I get to keep one of them. And so it's are we getting back into this place where there's these really impactful songs that can really help a deck, say Ruby Sapphire, turn the corner? You got to balance that with, decks that can strip it from your hand if you draw it too soon. And so I love that. I love those trade-offs.
Well,
I think Ruby Sapphire might be on just 3 songs at the moment. Let It Go, this, and the one from Mulan that allows you to draw 2 cards.
Marching off to battle. That was actually what I was about to bring up. So this is
I think that card's also very strong.
Yeah, that's not on our list, but it's if a character is banished this turn, draw 2 cards. So you can sing this and then play that one as well, and then draw 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's not draw 2 cards for every character that was banished this turn. That would be insane.
OP.
Yeah, the Ruby Amethyst would immediately be back.
Yeah.
I feel like Amethyst players just they just search for the word draw and they go from there. Oh, I'm clicked on the wrong app again. Dang it. Number 7, we've got Stitch Carefree Snowboarder. It's a 4/5, so it dodges that World's Greatest Criminal Mind. It quests for 2. Whenever you quest, you have 2 more characters in play. You may draw a card with a Cood. It's really easy to get down on 1 or 2, and then to get this guy out really early, and then start questing and get some card advantage before anybody can really deal with him.
My
I loved
testing.
it.
Go ahead.
He's snowboarding, right? Instead of surfing. Go ahead, Tempest.
Yeah, in my testing, if you're able to cheat him out on 3 with either some Reuben shenanigans or Cood, this card is absolutely insane. Towards the later game, when you're kind of top decking this and playing it, it seems very fair. Oftentimes, your opponent kind of removes it before it gets that value later game. But definitely early game, if you cheat this out, it is extremely strong.
Yeah. Aliens. Aliens are, I think that's going to be pretty meta. But I'm pretty excited.
But I don't know. I forgot. We're just going to move on to the next card. I was going to make some pun about aliens, but I can't remember.
Real quick before we move on, I love that the development team, think about Surfer Stitch, right? He was a 7-drop inkable. If you had 2 characters in play when you played Surfer Stitch, then you can draw 2 cards. This is it costs less. You have to have the 2 characters similarly, but it's like an on-quest ability, but it's a recurring ability if you can keep this Carefree Snowboarder, on the board and healthy. But I just love how Ravensburger, they do that, right? They'll print 2 very similar cards, and one will have, I don't know, maybe a slight upside or a slight downside or what have you. It's like the Lexington and that new steel card they printed. It's like a 2/4. Yeah, is that what it is, Tempest? It's like a 2/4, but it's a 4/4 if it has no damage or something. So
GD, best dog in snow.
Yeah, it's a slightly different, take on it.
I enjoyed that. It kind of feels like now we have almost Surfer Stitch is very summer vibes, and it has its certain abilities. This is very winter. So now I'm are we gonna get spring Stitch? That's Sakura flowers in the background, and then are we gonna get fall or spooky vibes Stitch where there's pumpkins and autumn leaves? That's what I want now. Give me a full year view of Stitch.
Well, so you can
Carefree
play the Surfer and the Snowboarder in the same deck. I know some people are testing that out. You can also play the Emerald one that was in the middle of the Amber cards a few sets ago, where he's at the beach and you can pump him for 1 ink.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the subtitle. All right, I'm going to move us along. Continuing with Lilo and Stitch. Eric, why don't you just tell people about this card?
So its ability, it's a 2-cost, 1/3, quest for 1. If you have a character named Lilo, you play it for free. So this card, paired obviously with Lilo, is absolutely insane. Being able to cheat it out, having it synergize well since it's a deity with the new Hurl card. So you can have it buff up and trade into things. But I've seen this card in more of an aggro Amber Steel list, and pairing it with that 2-drop uninkable Lilo that needs to be challenged twice and then have this on the field allows them to put tons of pressure on. And it really allows you to get your strength numbers, be able to drop your hand easily for docks, maybe seeing BTH with it. This card, I think overall is very good, but it does have that downside of needing to see Lilo.
So we know
BTH, Beyond the Horizon, just in case the viewers didn't catch that one.
Another Lilo and Stitch card. Do you guys know why Pudge is a deity?
Yes. Do you guys know?
I do not.
Well, she worships him and brings up sandwiches.
Right, because Pudge controls the weather. So the flavor text, Lilo's how many sandwiches do I need to give you to get all this snow gone?
Love that.
I just love that he's a deity. It's my favorite thing.
That actually, I think, is that even more relevant? No, probably not more relevant than the free part, but the deity part is definitely super relevant with Hurl. Mm-hmm. He hurled his Thunderbolt. Amber Steel's gotta love this card, right? You have your Pudge out there, you sing Hurl with, Ursula, Vanessa,
Troubadour,
and then Pudge is swinging in for 5. Pudge is taking out a Tinkerbell.
So this is Pudge's first card.
I love that idea.
I mean, that's huge.
So this is Pudge's first card, but there's another card that Pudge appeared on.
Surfer Stitch.
Yeah, Surfer Stitch.
Yeah,
oh,
he's out there eating the sandwich in the Enchanted.
Yeah.
Is Pudge from, that's not from Lilo and Stitch 1.
Yeah.
It is. It's in the credits. They're in the water.
So there's actually some very sad lore, right? With Pudge. So Lilo believes Pudge controls the weather, and so Lilo feeds Pudge peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or peanut butter sandwiches. I don't remember which. And there was a day where Lilo's did not feed Pudge a sandwich. And then that was the day her parents got lost in a storm and sadness and all that. So Lilo makes sure to give Pudge the sandwich to keep the weather nice. Did I miss anything, Kim? Proper lore?
Yep. Yeah, that's because there was like a hurricane that happened, and that's like why they don't have parents. I also remember the scene in the movie that I find so funny because like Nani doesn't really understand like Lilo's obsession with Pudge, and so she kind of just like whatever, and so she makes a tuna sandwich for Lilo to give Pudge, and Lilo instantly is like, I can't give this to Pudge. That's tuna, basically being like that's cannibalism for them.
Yeah, lots of layers there, guys.
I need to rewatch Lilo and Stitch. Apparently,
There's a lot of lore there.
that's yeah.
And even in the live action in the beginning, there's the opening. She's like snorkeling and she's like giving what's supposed to be Pudge in the ocean like a sandwich.
I haven't watched the live action. Is Pudge like as cute in the live action, or is it like does it look too much like a realistic fish?
I think it's pretty realistic. I don't remember.
I don't remember
Very
that.
quick. It's very quick in the opening. It's not as central to the story.
I really like that movie, by the way. That was a great live action adaptation.
I think it was pretty good. Of course, we got a sequel coming too. So
We do what?
Yeah.
I just hope my boy Gantuwu's in it.
oh, 100%.
Yeah, come on, I did him dirty in the live action. He didn't even get to make an appearance.
I know there were a lot of people that were like upset about the live action. They're like, I don't want to spoil it too much, but there were some actions that Nani took that they were like, oh, Hana means family, and Nani like. But I will say this: what Nani did was very responsible and realistic, and there was somebody pressuring her to make that decision.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it ended up fine in the end. So I'm not going to spoil too much.
Oh,
I have
how
two
those
daughters, so I just
characters
love the interaction between them.
movies.
All right, we'll move on. Oh, it's Kim's first card. Kim's number 5 pick. Speaking of Lilo and Stitch again, as Kim likes to call her, Angelrella.
Angelrella. When they showed her, I was just like, Cindy, she's back. A little bit more fair. We'll take it. In core constructed, we'll take it. We'll take it. I'm so excited.
I don't want to see this in Infinity.
What? So I can have 2 Cindys, basically?
Yeah, you don't
Sounds
need-
awesome.
You guys didn't allow me to have 8 popsicles, so why should you have 8 Cindy's?
Because
It always comes back to Sapphires too.
It always does.
Bringing it back.
Please. All good. I feel like you'll get another popsicle eventually. Super excited for this. When they showed this in like the very first previews for Winterspells, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so hyped for Winterspell because Amber Steele's song might be back, and I'm so excited. But she's
I'm sorry, go ahead, Kim. Yeah, if you want to read it.
oh yeah, but she's a 2/2 Storyborn ally alien. I'm wondering if we're just gonna have, I don't know, maybe I'm forgetting if there's like cards that are like, if you have an alien in play, you get a certain ability, if we don't have that yet.
There's a location at least that cares about aliens.
There's also the Lilo, the Steel Lilo. She's the one that when she enters play, she buffs all your characters by 2, I think, Challenger 2. And then when she quests, she allows your aliens to challenge your ready characters.
Yeah, it's relevant.
So yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of alien song shenanigans. It may not be a Princess Amber Steele song deck, but I think it's going to be Alien Amber Steele song shenanigans.
I mean, Angel is kind of a princess in herself, so.
She is. Well, she's kind of a villain, though. I don't know if you ever watched the series. She low-key was a villain.
Yeah, I was like, I spoiled enough Lilo and Stitch lore tonight. I wasn't gonna. With Darkwing, the Thunderquack, every character is a villain.
And then also, we didn't bring up, this is the start of Winterspell introduced this new ability, Underdog, which is... I don't know if anyone else has a better way of explaining this, because I'm still trying to understand. And I don't know if this is relevant in other TCGs, because this is my first ever TCG. So I'm like, oh, this is, I feel like helping balance the going first or going second disparity that happens with the dice roll. So I don't know if anyone else wants to clarify that better.
So the Underdog ability is a way to kind of bring that disparity level down a little bit, right? So this is your first turn and you're not the first player, you play 1 less to play this character. So basically you're getting a card that's a little bit higher in power than a normal 1-drop without it just being a 1-drop, because if it was a 1-drop, the first player could just play it on 1, right? So by it being a 2-drop and then having this ability, it prevents it from being a turn 1 play for the first player, and this is a nice, powerful turn 1 play for the second player.
Yeah,
This card's
I think I might be lagging a little bit. Sorry, guys. Go ahead, Tempest.
I was going to say, it really, as she mentioned earlier, it disrupts the play draw disparity. This, paired with a song we're going to talk about a little later, allows you to cheat out other cards that are more impactful in the board state, and so allows you to catch up in the game. And being on the draw with this allows you to have kind of an advantage. So it's very impactful on just the overall game state, even though you're on the draw. So you get an extra card and you can cheat out larger characters before your opponent can, which is pretty
And
strong.
then question, because again, this is all very new to me. When playing this card, how does this affect your altering hand? Because that's something too that I'm like, oh, like I have to think a lot more potentially of like, oh, like if I'm going first or second. Like if I'm going first and I see this card in my hand, would I ideally not want this card then, or is she still pretty strong to have in your hand as a 2-drop?
She's probably still pretty good. I mean, if you're on the draw, you definitely basically kind of treat her as a 1-drop in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of depending on what your deck wants to do. You know, she's still a very strong 2-drop. Unless, like, if I've got a hand where I've got her and maybe Troubadour or the Ursula Vanessa, maybe I keep the Ursula Vanessa or the Troubadour over her because they're Singer 4 as opposed to Singer 3.
You can also think about, like, if you're going first, your 1-drop might be like Rhino or Daisy. And this is like just a good ink because, you know, if this is in your hand and you're going first, there's no immediate value. Like maybe mid-game, she'll be able to like help you float the board. And then if you see your strengths or other songs, it allows you like mid-game to be able to play them for like the typical Steel Song strength that it has. But generally, like if you have a 2-drop, you're going to want to try and look for that Troubadour or Ursula Vanessa just because they could sing the bolts, which is much more impactful than having her on 2. So even though she's in her starting hand going first, she's like a very strong ink option to ink other things or to play other things.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that makes so much more sense now. I was just like, how do I deal with this card in my hand? But no, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and I love the underdog ability. I think Brennan DeCandio put it best when he used to do his streams and whatnot. You know, you think about why it's so strong to go first in Disney Lorcana. It's because you get to use your ink first, right? And so you get to play to the board first. And that's even why like Singer is so strong because like if you have say it's turn 2, you played her on turn 1. You know, you essentially have like you have more than your turn's worth of ink available to you because songs, you know, you get to sing them for free. And so like Singer's really strong. This card, it really helps to like close that disparity, you know, to your point, Kim. So yeah, I'm just super excited about anything underdog. I think it's so good for the game.
Yeah, I hope we see more underdog going forward. And I hope it's because I feel like we notice when it comes to the game design in Disney Lorcana, they tend to go in waves. But what they focus on, like we'll get something introduced and maybe we only get like 1 or 2 sets with it. Like we've had 2 sets already at least that didn't have locations. We've had multiple sets. Like this one I think is one where there's no dual inks. So I'm hoping underdog is something that sticks around a while. Maybe not every single set, but does show up fairly frequently.
I'm thinking it probably will, because I mean they did give it a named keyword, right? It wasn't like the evasive on your turn we used to have, where it was just kind of different for every character.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to our number 5. I know that Eric is in love with this card.
This is my favorite card to target with Baby Sisu or Horseman.
Okay, Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about this card?
Yeah, so Mulan, Resourceful Recruit. She is an Emerald 2-drop, inkable. 1/4 is the stat line, and she has Rigorous Training as her ability. It says whenever this character quests gain lore equal to her strength to a maximum of 6 lore. So you can play in your dog's deck, you play the tramp that can increase the strength of one of your characters equal to the number of other characters you control. You target your Mulan, and she can quest for 6. You know, that's pretty powerful. So it's just like, I think another tool for that game or that deck, that archetype. There's much more reach, right? That you got Go-Go, you got Mulan. So many ways to just burst to 20.
A lot more high roll potential.
Yeah.
And when Forrest was on here last, he was talking about how Elowin, as well as the new Snow Fort, and you just mentioned Tramp as well, how those all synergize with her to easily make her quest for 3, 4, 5 just by playing the deck. So this card is definitely extremely powerful. It's doing the thing that Dogs is already doing. It's very low cost. If you play it with Willow, it costs 1. Like, this card is absolutely insane.
Yeah. I know some people get really frustrated when there's cards like this in the game because they really bolster aggressive strategies. And we've all been there where it's like, geez, I feel like you didn't even get to play because the aggressive deck just blew you out of the water. But I do ultimately think that cards like this have a good place, in TCGs because it forces other decks to interact and like add answers to their deck, and you know what I mean? So it's not just a solitaire game where I just get to do what I want and I don't care what you're doing. Like, I have to interact with you because Mulan is very strong. So It's cool.
Kim, how you feeling about this Mulan?
Mulan makes me question what is Emerald's like ink identity. I don't know. Winterspell almost makes me feel like a lot of the inks are going through a small like identity crisis.
Mostly Emerald.
I know mostly Emerald, but even still, like I think it's in here. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if it's in there, but like a card that was added in Amber, everyone's like, why does Amber get this? But yeah, Emerald especially. I used to always associate it with like the discard color, and so it's interesting, like Matt said, where this card has so much like lore burst, and there's a few other cards. It's interesting that Emerald is starting to become almost like a toolboxy color. I feel is the best way to describe it, where it just has all these random tools and doesn't seem to have necessarily like a big strength yet. Because there are other inks like Amethyst where they also have like a lot of lore burst. Ruby does as well. So very, very interesting to know. Like, okay, what is Emerald going through right now? Midlife crisis? Who knows?
Back in our prime, we used to be the toolbox and Sapphire Steel. Back in our prime.
Still, Jeff, I love it. Still on it.
Back in my day, we had to walk up the hill both ways in the snow just to ink for a fishbone quill. And Belle was always putting down extra inks, and Cogsworth, he was giving resist to everybody, and it's just... I just don't make them like they used to.
Oh, they really said, Sapphire, you get ink.
What do you think, Tempest?
Oh, I already talked about how cracked this card is.
You did.
Would you like to hear
What
more?
else is there to say?
Back in my day.
I think you're right though, Kim, that on one of the recent main stages, I think they talked about, Ruby, for example, and how everybody sort of identified them as the board wipe ink, but they didn't give Ruby the new board wipe, or they went to Amber. And so I think there's like this like evolution happening. There's like a rebranding, if you will. And so they can't do that overnight. It happens slowly.
I like the rebrand over midlife crisis. That sounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think the only midlife crisis happening is over here in Sapphire Steel.
Steel's the crisis color right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's a card that we'll show here in a little bit that I think is pretty good.
Back in my day, we were one jumping. This was before you kids had your T-pose, winning DLCs and your sales, and we were just one jumping at Detective Mickey and Fishbone and Belle. That's all we had. We were playing
the Lucky Dime.
We were playing Taka back in set 1.
Yo,
Taka.
Taka is my hope for the next card that Blue Steel plays. I wanted Moana for so long. We have Moana. Now Taka is the next one that I hope we get a playable.
Unironically played this with Hans back in set 1.
I love that for you.
Wow, she just hit me with the bless your heart.
Yeah.
Love you,
look up to
Kim.
God.
Love you. Bless your heart, you Sapphire Steel player. I think the cheese done slid off your cracker. All right, now we're gonna move into Kim's number 4 pick.
They're so cute, the little duckies. But Ohana means family, a 3-cost action. Remove all your damage from chosen character of yours. Draw a card for each 1 damage removed this way. All right, Rapunzel, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually really... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, it's like, they were probably like, Rapunzel, she's really strong. We don't want to give you a glimmer. Instead, you get an action. But you know what? Draw for Amber also just helps elevate. Amber just is eating really good this set. And so this really is just like card draw for Amber. Really good card draw. Value. And this actually falls with Amber's identity of being like the support and healing ink type. So overall, no notes. This is pretty good. I guess only note is, why wasn't this on a character? It's really all I have to say for that.
I think it's interesting that they reworked it into an action, right? And so, like, you don't leave the body behind, but you do potentially have a higher upside in drawing more cards.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of, like, is it time for Grand Pabby? Are we drawing cards and gaining lore?
You would gain 1 for each individual. No, is that what it is? Is it 2 for each 1 healed, or is it 1-to-1? I forget.
I think it's each time damage is removed from a character, so it would just be 2 lore.
It's like, we gotta look this up. Hold on.
Yeah, I've always wanted Grand Pabby to work.
Piglet removes from all characters, so each character a damage is removed from, it would be 2 lore.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
To be each time that you remove a damage, there's an instance of removing a damage from a character.
Yep. No, that seems good. But yeah, I agree though. I think Ohana's not a ton of notes. It is like a little bit of a tempo loss to just spend 3 ink on an action. Right? It's not a body, it's not a song, but I mean, it's still really good. I think that this definitely makes archetypes, more viable. Amber Sapphire control, right? You just throw a bunch of Hades in your deck, let it go. You got the board wipe, and you're you're not really too worried about like the tempo loss, maybe because you do have those super late game resets. So seems good.
Yeah. We're going to move on to the additional ink number 4 pick. Pete, Ghost of Christmas Future. This card's been really fun in testing. It starts off as draw a card, then it turns into develop your brain, and then it turns into visions, and then it turns to I'm just picking through my whole deck.
Love this card. I think this card is so good. I think every Sapphire deck needs to be playing 4 copies of this card.
Pro tip from Mr. Jack Shadows himself, always boost the Pete. Always boost the Pete.
Yeah, what's interesting is this card is basically a 6 cost because you want to boost it when you play it, and then the next turn you boost it again, so you have that develop. So it's much more powerful.
Yeah. I mean, and then once you get it to the point where it's like a visions, like you've got the game unlocked by then.
Yeah, like in my testing, this card is banish on sight. It's immediately getting let it go. I guess depending on when you play it, maybe Hades or something is your opponent is trying to take this card out because the card advantage it can generate is, and as well as filter, is so powerful.
It's got the ally tag, which is relevant if you're playing Jasmine lists. It does have a ghost tag, which aren't super relevant at the moment, but who knows what we'll see in the future.
Yeah.
Kim, is this a card you want to see on the other side of the board for you?
No, I'm like reading through this and I'm like, ew. I was like, what do I do? Do I just try to out aggro this before it gets on? Do I try to play something more like mid-range control so I can remove it on sight? Ugh.
You just take
What
your
would
Gordas Criminal Mind account
Yeah.
and you just up it.
Just up it. Yeah.
So one of the interesting things about this is we talked about Bell earlier, right? And so normally like your Hades, your Let It Goes, all of those cards under Pete are going to your Inkwell, or like if you had and like Olaf, which would bounce it back to your hand, right? It all goes back to your hand. Bell clarifies that it goes to the discard first, and then the stack separates. So then Pete just goes into your Inkwell, not all the additional cards. So that's one of those gameplay changes with that just a little bit of verbiage changes.
You see.
Why do I keep clicking off this window? All right, Kim, number 3.
All right, number 3 is a 3 cost, a Glimmer Nani stage manager. She's a 3 Dreamborn hero. That's your cue when you play this character. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a character cost with a character card would cost 2 or less and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Is this just Be Our Guest, but on a character?
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. It reminds me of Ariel, Spectacular Singer. That's why I like this card. It's just like, it combines a lot of traditional Amber Steel Song cards into like this one card. So it brings good vibes, and I feel like it could be a really strong card. Like I said, I'm trying to cook like an Aliens Amber Steel Song list, and I feel like this could easily go in there.
Well, if you remember on Ice Cream Social, there was a one Lilo Stitch card I really wanted, and they haven't given it to us yet. And it's the Lilo Myrtle Beatdown. And this card harkens back to that because it's there at the stage show. Right. Lilo's just throwing those hands.
Kind of is, because that's Lilo in the background too, right? Like
yeah.
She like elbowing Myrtle right there.
Yeah, it looks like it actually.
So you're getting there. You're just like, okay, now just take that artwork, zoom in on it, and then like put that onto a card. Easy, but exciting.
All right, so we're gonna move on to keeping with Lilo and Stitch. There's so many in the top 10. So we have the Steel Angel Experiment 624. She's a 3/3 alien ally. Really relevant tags. We got an ability that kind of harkens back to Tiana, like no cards in hand, but she gains resist 2, and then once during your turn, you may choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to a character. Matt, I'm gonna let you talk about this. I know you've been testing this card quite a bit. Well, Matt, you're muted.
Thank you. I think Angel Experiment 64 is very strong. I think that, again, we all love Sapphire Steel. I think in a Sapphire Steel strategy, if you're on the draw, like and you're up against an aggressive deck, this card's looking really good on turn 3 after turn 2 ramp. Instead of Cindy, then you can actually immediately use Angel's good aim ability, right? Because you're up 1 card because you're on the draw. You can ping, all kinds of relevant 1-drops right now. You can ping a Grandmother Willow, right? So it can't get any further value from there. And it's just like, and also if you're running cards like Doc, maybe, or Desperate Plan, cards that, you really want to only see 1 of in your hand, then you can just feed those to Angel with extra copies, ditch them to the discard, ping damage. I mean, I think this card's very strong, and synergizes well with Ariel as well, right? This Sonic Warrior, right? She's doing some ping damage with her ability, and this is pinging stuff. You just pew pew. So I think it's awesome. I'm excited for this.
I have been loving this card in testing. Not Blue Steel, but I've been dabbling with Amber Steel. Amber got all the spice, so why not try it out? But this card, hear me out. You go turn 1, the 2-drop Underdog Angel on the draw. You sing a Cood, which is Angel Song, to play a turn 2 angel, experiment 624, and you immediately can discard something and ping something. And so you've already taken over the board. You've established your 4-cost singer. Like, this card on turn 2 is absolutely insane.
Gonna write some notes here. Hold on.
I was gonna say you guys are giving Kim ideas.
Yeah, I know. You guys are cooking.
What is this called again? This is your competitive arc, or what is it?
Yeah, my competitive era. So I'm just like,
okay,
right, because we have that. Like I said, that new champion playmat. I need that. So I'm just gonna. If Amber Steel Aliens is the thing, I'm gonna do it. And Angel's cute, so like it's fitting. I like it. So
Got a great Enchanted too.
it did.
Yeah.
I got a really good Enchanted. So.
And actually, I think this might be the first set where we got the double legendary. Both legendaries are Enchanteds, I believe. I could be wrong, but at least it's been a while.
So what do you
All
think
right.
about it, Jeff?
I think it's great. I haven't really tested her much. I'm excited to kind of do maybe some Goliath Angel shenanigans where we're refilling the hand each turn and
Yeah, it's a good one.
discarding, resists. It always just kind of, everywhere I look, I see his face. There's old cogs.
I just imagine you like taping a picture of Cogs' face onto Angel's body.
That is a great idea, actually. Catch me and get with the cogs, Angel.
I think even without that resist, I think this card's super playable. It's like the resist is just a bonus. If you find yourself top decking, or maybe strategically you've got no cards in hand for one reason or another, like that resist, it's just a nice little bonus. It makes it even better. But it's, I think, still quite good even without that.
Yeah, I'm excited to get a lot more games in with it. I mean, I'm pretty happy. Like, we don't always get like a lot of great tools to steal, but we got some things that are interesting to try that I'm very excited to test out. I know I'm clicked on the wrong window this time. Look, it's Pudge again.
Gosh, it's Pudge. What do we expect? Only thing else I have to add is why didn't Pudge get an Enchanted?
Right?
That's what I want to know.
Do you know what? Somebody at Ravensburger forgot to feed Pudge their sandwich.
Did.
That's why.
Instead of what's the preferred flavor?
PB
Sandwich.
PB&J.
The
Here's the
PBJs.
thing. We got the huge winter storm because Pudge didn't get an Enchanted. That's the equivalent of giving Pudge a sandwich at Ravensburger. Is if you don't make Pudge an Enchanted, that's why everything is covered in snow.
Yeah, I'm clipping that.
But I think it makes sense. That's my
I like it.
hack conspiracy.
Well, I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's facts. Big facts.
Big facts.
Pudge is out here controlling the weather, and we're all being punished because he waited till reveal season was over, and we're knew for sure because Pudge didn't want to spoil anything. He's very much anti-spoilers. He's posting on Twitter right before the Marvel movies come out, #no spoilers, doing those campaigns. And then once it was all spoiled, Pudge was like, "All right, that's it, done. Dump the snow." I clicked on the wrong thing again.
Come on, Jeff.
All right.
You can do this.
Our next one is a Cood. Itamute.
I'm only calling this a cood. The other words, too much. That's my hot take. But no, this card's.
So hold on, before you get into the cards, every time somebody plays a song in Disney Lorcana, there's always that urge to sing, right? We're playing it. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history, right? Or let it go. So you're not going to sing this one?
Absolutely not.
A Cood. It too. I don't know. I have to replay
I'm
it.
struggling.
Yeah.
Well, Angel's really high pitched. It's like a siren song, right? She's a siren singer. I just don't got the chops for that.
All right. Well, this song, 3-cost uninkable. It is basically you pay 2 less for the next character you play this turn, and you draw a card. So you get your turn one angel, singer 3. You can already cheat out that 4-cost angel, which I just said. You can go. This is even crazier. So on the draw, turn 1 angel, turn 2 willow. Turn 3 ink, sing this, play Goliath, and you have card advantage. You have card advantage. You can cheat things out. The card is absolutely insane.
You might as well keep that notebook out.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I
I'm
know
taking
this
notes.
now.
We're in these top cards. I was like, all right, I gotta write some facts
That's
here.
pretty good combo. Yeah.
this card allows,
Crazy.
I believe, turn 3 Clarabelle shifts.
Dang. And I'm getting this info for free? No Metafy? Crazy.
No, this card's crazy. And in Affinity, it's gonna see play. It's gonna be even better because you'll be able to cheat out your tune 2 aerials. You could have your aerial sing this and shift onto herself and then play another character. This card is definitely very viable and we'll definitely see play this current meta after rotation. This card's insane.
I'm thinking about
Yeah.
Infinity, where you do turn 1 Aurora to then go into turn 2 Ariel, play this song.
I just had a thought.
I'm scared.
Bianca
Yeah.
discounts by 2 if you have an ally in play. So you can turn 1, turn 2, you sing this, you ink a card, then you play Bianca on turn 2 for 2 ink.
Angel is an ally.
Angel's an ally, and then you have a 6 cost 5/5 on turn 2.
And you
Pretty
can
good.
turn 3 VTH.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crazy.
that seems good. Yeah, I mean, and this Akud, it has the magic word. It replaces this up. You draw a card. So strong. I like how Sapphire is the ramp ink, but Amber has had really good, just like character discount, reduction effects. Some of them are recurring, like Lantern, or some of them are like songs like this. I mean, I think stuff like this is very good.
A turn 2 Bianca shuts out so much aggressive questing. Now that I'm thinking about it, like that's kind of insane.
Yeah, and then once your Bianca takes some damage, you Ohana means family. You heal it right off and draw cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and BTH get your opponent's their crafted hand out of their way super early. We're gonna erase this part of the podcast. Okay,
So you're like, this is Ghent secret information here.
never do that. Kim's number 1 pick. More free stuff.
More free stuff. He's number 1 because he's a cutie, and I love this character. I loved watching Lilo and Stitch the series, and so I was always like, when is he gonna be in the game? And I love that he's just in his natural habitat. There's all this chaos happening around him, but he's just out here making sandwiches. Okay? That's all he cares about. But regardless of from his cuteness, this is actually a pretty good card. Ocean could probably talk more about like why it's good, but it's got a block of tax. So I'm like, this is pretty solid. You're paying less for your next character.
Before we get into that, Oceans,
Yeah.
is he making an MLT, a mayo, lettuce, tomato?
I don't know.
Is that all there is on that sandwich? Is that all there is on that sandwich?
There ain't no meat on it. That ain't no sandwich.
Definitely not a Reuben.
Ruben is-
do it.
Ruben is out here making MLTs, mayo, lettuce, tomatoes. Times is hard out in Lorcana, okay? Inflation's up, meat prices are up.
There's only so much they could get. Supermarkets are probably closed. This is all they had.
There's mustard right next to him, but he's making MLT.
I want to say, first of all, Kim was like, that's a lot of text. So my brain was like, that's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not going to read them. Like, that's what I instantly thought of.
She tried to delegate that to you.
She's like, there's too many words for this. Let's let the nerd figure it out. So no, this
Oh,
card
wear your glasses.
makes the light reflect.
This is
Embrace me.
This is what our Airbnb shenanigans are like.
Yeah. No, this card in testing has been very fun. So if you get the magical line of Mulan into this, then you can drop a 5-drop on 3. So you can cheat out the Stitch, which has been extremely powerful. You get that card draw engine early. I've very much enjoyed that line into like dogs, and then dropping a turn 3 Horseman that Mulan will not survive. But that allows like interesting trades because you banish and then your characters get buffed. And so you're trading your Mulan into their 1/3s, their 1/2s, stuff like that. And as you continue to pile up that damage doing those trades, Ruben keeps allowing you to cheat things out. So it's a recurrable ramp option, and it makes those lines very interesting. I've also had games where you missed a Mulan, but you still go Ruben, and then you can turn 3, play Mulan, cheat the damage off, and play new 3-drop. So something like a Raja. Or some other line that I've enjoyed is playing the Ruben, the new Fazo, where he enters with 2 damage, cheating that off, and then playing the Willow as well. So you have like a lot of early war pressure, as well as you're ramping out cards, so your next turn can be able to cheat stuff out as well. So Ruben allows you to make very interesting lines, and it makes your opponent kind of question like what they turn sideways, because this is recurrable.
Right. And the other thing too is that Ruben has that magical word ally as a category. I don't know what's the right word for that. But as we were just saying earlier,
Tag.
ally,
Classification.
yeah, tag. Ally just has a lot of really good synergies, whether it's a Jasmine, Bianca, a bunch of other stuff. I think Lilo has the synergies with ally. A lot of good stuff with Ruben. Even if he is making an MLT.
The MLT is canon now. That's what. So in India, I'm gonna make us all MLTs one night. Okay.
What was it to say? Are you gonna make us MLTs?
Great. So we'll get those big brioche buns he looks like he's got there, and we'll make MLT. Unfortunately, with the Jasmine, a lot of the Jasmine ally synergy is she is a dual ink Sapphire Steel card. So a lot of these Amber allies are just kind of left out.
But Scar juices them up.
That's true. Amber
Miss
Scar
Scar.
ally build.
I don't think it would be bad, because there's a ton of allies in Steel that are relevant.
Yeah. Well, moving on to an ally. Nope, she's a mentor. I lied. Number 1,
Scratch that.
Grandmother Willow. She's an ally because she's going to help you play characters faster. This card has been all over Twitter. It's been seeing a lot of testing. Is some rules question about exactly how her ability works, whether it's more like a static ability or it's an activated ability. If you can indicate when it's used, right? If you have multiple Grandmother Willows, but we are waiting for our said notes update to find out exactly. There's been kind of silence on that. But other than that, this is just like a lantern. I do think it.
Relax.
I'm just glad this card does not have reward.
Yeah. Ravensburg, I think they learned their lesson on that one. Hopefully.
There is a squirrel there in the art.
Yeah.
Grandmother Willow Shift, what ward? Coming next set.
Really strong cards have some kind of squirrel on them or the squirrel reference, right? Dan Worthy, maybe.
Grandmother Willow said, I haven't seen this, I hadn't had this much excitement in 200 years.
Let's say the amount of hype she's getting, that flavor text is perfect.
Me too, Grandmother Willow. Same, girl, same.
So why do you guys think? I mean, why, or just say right what you're seeing in testing, why is this card so strong? What do you think, Tempest?
Okay,
Or Jeff?
so we've seen the effects of True Drop Ramp between Sail and Tipo. They've basically they've basically supported the strength that Blurple has, as well as Blue Steel currently, where if you miss 2-drop ramp, you just have a non-game, and then when you see it, you just get to do your thing. So we can see how strong 2-cost ramp is currently in the game. This allows you to cheat out characters for 1 less, and it's like a continuous effect. And if you have multiple, of course, all your dudes are reduced in cost. So it allows you to play characters of higher ink value earlier in the game, which we've already seen its success in Blue Steel and Blue, as well as Green Blue. So I think this card's interesting because a few individuals have posted on the Twitter space, the X space. This being paired with Surfer Stitch allows for unbelievably large board states. But I do think this card's good, but it's not as good as a Fire the Cannon. So this card ain't doing nothing but a cannon there.
Or Angel,
Yeah.
or the terror that
Or
flaps.
Angel.
The terror that flaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this
The-
card is extremely good. Just fire the cannon and you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it.
It's funny. No, I agree. You made a great point, Tempest, around, the fact that we know Tipo and Sail, they're so strong. And I mean, it's funny because this is almost like an Amber Sail because you play this on 2 and then you actually can play a second character with its ability. Or you can play another 1-drop or a 1-drop. So, you can go 2 characters wide on turn 2, which is kind of like what you do with Sail, right? You, with that extra ink, you put in your ink while it comes in to, play ready, and you can play 1-drop, you can fire the cannons, develop your brain. So, yeah, it's like, we know how strong Sail is. So
It's interesting you bring that. It's interesting you bring that up because I've seen a lot of discourse comparing the two, not in that way, but it's where like people are like complaining about Grandmother Willow, and then other people are like, yeah, but Sail's worse. And like, then it's like, yeah, this card's bad, but there's no way it's as bad as Sail, or like, Sail's not as bad as Grandmother. So it's like,
all the tribes are arguing over their ink, their ink colors. Yeah,
but I'll tell you that none of the Sapphire Steel players are complaining about either of the cards because we're just going to build. We're just going to build around it. That's what we're going to do. We get a lot of hate in the community sometimes, but we don't bother nobody. We're just the homies. We're cool guys. We're just hanging out. Support a local Sapphire Steel player. They're pretty cool guys. Found it sound like one of those commercials, like for 59 cents a day, for 3 popsicles a day.
You can help a Sapphire Steel player.
I don't know. I think Sapphire Steel might be in a good position this meta. I don't know.
Hey, we're just ruining Urban.
Every set.
No, we don't say that every set.
And his name is Jeff.
We're playing Fire the Cannons. I did love how you built up Grandma literally like, yeah, but it's not better than Fire the Cannons.
I'm a Sail Fire the Cannon go. Enjoy playing on curve.
But no, it's Grandmother Willow is very powerful. I mean, I think it's a great card for Amber strategies. I think they already had some ways to discount their characters with Lantern and whatnot. But I think Lantern, you would never see that card in dogs, right? But I think you will definitely see Grandmother Willow in dogs, and I think it just opens up more strategies. More lanes for different decks to experiment with in Amber.
Speaking of dogs, this can allow you to play Tramp 7 on turn 3.
So good. So good.
I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. Okay, so that's all of our picks.
Mhm.
So We are super hyped for Winterspell. It's hard to distill the count down to just 5 to 10 or whatever, because there's a lot of cards that I'm excited to play with this. There's a lot of interesting boost stuff going on with like the Donalds and the Tamatoa. I'm excited to play with those. So my question is open question to all of you guys before we get out of here. Do you have any tips for players for when they're testing new cards or deciding what to play for this set?
Good question.
That's why I asked it.
I would say, as for me, someone who is, like I said, this is my first TCG ever. It's pretty new, so this goes more to someone who's in the same boat. It's okay, because I feel like I used to be very embarrassed asking all the time, like, what does that card do? Like, can I read that? But I feel like people are typically pretty kind, especially in like the first couple months, like for the first like month especially. They're like, yeah, no, there's so much, especially like you said, Jeff, there's so many like good cards in this set that there is going to be a lot of new cards. I feel like we've had sets in the past where like you only see like 5 new cards, so it's kind of easy to learn what those are. And you know, Matt said this too, where you know there's so many new cards that allow so many new play styles and ink color pairings to shine, that we're going to see a lot of like weird combinations come in, or like combinations that we weren't expecting, and maybe cards that we didn't think about, but because of these new cards, they're going to allow older cards to like be super playable. So my big tip is it's okay to be like, what does this card do? Especially if you do it like every single turn. It's fine. People are pretty nice, especially if you explain that you don't really know all the cards and that it's a lot, because it's a lot to memorize all of these cards. So that's my big tip.
Yeah, and sometimes they're the old cards that you think worked one way. Sometimes there's new interactions with new abilities and new things that might change the way a card is actually handled. Eric, you got anything?
I guess my tip is, I understand a lot of people play this game for different reasons, whether it's social with your friends, whether it's like us, where we like to go to the big tournaments and try and get the glory. It could be individuals who just want to spend more time with their kids, stuff of that nature. And I understand each individual player comes from a different background. Some of us are more wealthy than others. When you're trying to test out things, it's okay to make paper proxies before you purchase these cards. We live in an era where money from certain people can be tight, and we all understand that. So if you have an interest in a deck, something that you might not delve into normally, feel free to make those proxies. Test those with your friends, your locals. Understand that, hey, I'm testing these out. Maybe I don't want to invest in this card yet, because I could tell you Angel will probably be a pretty pricey card just because she's very good. Or Moana might be also pretty pricey just based on her ability and something new to the game. So it's definitely okay to proxy those and play with your friends. Maybe play your locals if they're okay with proxies before you go out and invest a ton of money into a new deck.
But if you're going to a tournament, you do need the cards.
Yes, tournaments, you need the cards.
But if you don't necessarily need to go out and try to find somewhere to make proxies or anything, you can do some very simple, easy ones at home. Like, for example, this is a proxy I made for Dumbo. It was testing. I took an art card. I just literally wrote the cost, Dumbo, strength and willpower. I said draw because I know what the ability does. And then it has a lore pip. And this is literally just an art card, just thrown into a sleeve. And it's just a quick way for me to test a deck without having to move my Dumbos around from one deck to another, because I only own 4 Dumbos. Because when Dumbos started, they were $90. So I'm probably ever only going to own 4 Dumbos. So
yeah, and to add to that too, it's also okay to ask to borrow cards and like do that with your friends. Like if you and your friends typically play different decks, it's okay to be like, let's share cards. Especially if you go to a tournament and you can't use proxies, you're like, okay, which friend, you know, if they're going to play Amber Emerald Dogs, let me borrow the steel cards from them, like those angels.
Usually
Pro tip though, if you borrow your friend's cards, make sure you return them. I'm sorry, Tempest.
You're like eyeing each other like, I don't know if I like that tip.
You stole them.
There's not a tournament that I go to where I haven't had 3 or 4 people go into the tournament, hit me up and be like, hey, do you have these? Do you have these? And then I end up with a deck box with a bunch of loose cards. And like, I'm like running around and like, I'm trying to find Rod, Impact TCG, and be like, oh, here's these Plutos you needed. And here's this person, here's this foils you needed or whatever. And that's typically what I'm doing at the beginning of a tournament. But the game's about having fun, and sometimes I know it can be disheartening when you're trying to like, man, I really want to like test out Cinderella and see if it's worth doing, but I don't know if I want to spend the money. Just make some proxies and run some practice games, you know? If LGSs are going to be one thing, whether or not they're cool with it, but if you're just sitting at home at the kitchen table and you're testing or webcam games or whatever, that's fine. Major, what you got?
Yeah, I think for me, don't be afraid to look at decks on the internet. You know, like, it's okay. You know, not everybody's a natural born deck builder. Look on the deck builder sites. Look to see what people are posting and wherever, Discord or Facebook or Reddit, whatnot.
Or here on Additional Ink.
Or here, Additional Ink. There you go.
YouTube.
Take a little bit of spice from this list and that, and mix it in, blend it, and add your own, style and flavor. But that's what I love to do. I love to have a starting point, or even really, I'll just take a deck list from a previous meta, make a couple of tweaks, see what works. The core generally is going to stay about the same, maybe 50 cards, maybe try some new stuff. But also, if you're testing a card you're not really sure about, but you probably just throw 4 copies in there, right? So you're likely to draw, even if the final version is not likely to run 4 copies. Maybe put 4 in there. So you draw it, you're more likely to get a chance to see how it interacts, see how it works. Yeah, just a couple little tips like that, I think, are good. Definitely agree with the proxy one, though. For sure, you got to get them games in.
And I'll say this, in addition to all this stuff, don't be afraid to try new things. Especially when a new set comes out, there's a lot of voices. There's a lot of gravitating towards past decks, changing cards. That's a great place to start. But, if you're playing a card and you're having success with it, just because X player over here, X player over there is no, that's a bad card, or I would not put that card in my deck. If it's working for you at your locals or you're having fun with it, absolutely go for it. Hey, I spent an entire set playing Huey, Dewey, and Louie in a Scar list. Most Sapphire Steel players were not. But we had put the video on the channel. A lot of people had success with it. They won their set champs. It was a fun deck. So don't be afraid to play those decks to have fun too. I mean, obviously you're going to those hyper competitive events. That's a different story, but just, not everything's got to be so serious all the time, if that makes sense.
I'm just thinking about
Agreed.
Glass Slipper. I was like, oh, I did that because everyone was like, Glass Slipper sucked. And then I won a set champs with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there you go. Touche. I also think people, on the interwebs like to have hot takes and they like to say controversial things.
Hot take. No one on the internet ever has a hot take. That's my hot take.
Yeah, so like you're saying, you might be vibing with a card and someone's trying to tell you that card's garbage or that's bad, I'd never run that. But it's like, hey, maybe you found the sauce.
Like Merlin Cottage.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Godmother.
Was the goat.
Fairy Godmother. We figured out, eats blue-green. Way too late. So yeah, there's lots of different ways to play the game. As long as you're having fun, that's what matters. And, everybody's having a good time. I do think we've been talking for a while, so I think we're going to wrap it up. Kim, you just launched your new YouTube channel. And you had your first episode of your new show, Kim's Corner.
I did. I am now in my YouTube era. Just keep on throwing eras. We're in our girly pop renaissance era. It's lovely. But yeah, Kim's Corner is essentially me creating my dream of just having my own talk show. I interview guests that all have something in common, or we pick a topic that they all really like, and I ask questions relating to that, and we do some game show style games on there, like guess that price, draw that card, bunch of silly times, a lot of shenanigans. Very excited. First episode, everyone seems to be loving it. Excited to keep doing that, and hopefully you guys show up on an episode soon.
We'd love to. We kind of go hand in hand. We got you can be Additional Kim, we'll be Enchanted Ink.
I'm ready to have you guys do draw that card and see if you guys actually know what Hiram looks like.
He's like,
that's a good one.
All right, so I want you guys to tell everybody where they can find you. I'm going to draw Hiram.
You're going to draw him? Okay. I'm Enchanted_Kim on all social medias. You can find me primarily on Instagram, Twitter, where I try to be a little bit sassier on Twitter, and YouTube. Like I said, I just launched Kim's Corner. And then I don't know if you guys shout your own stuff.
You can find me on X at Ocean's Tempest or lurking in the 20 Lore Discord.
Yeah, I'm mostly doing dad stuff, so you gotta find me on the interwebs. Maybe in Discord, that's about it. Or here.
Now, I'm going to warn you, I'm not an artist.
I'm so ready to see this. I'm sorry to see Hiram do 6-7.
The problem is my perspective on my drawing has shifted 3 times as I've started drawing it. Now Hiram looks like a snowman.
You making any toys?
Yeah. No, I'm giving up.
Okay.
I started off and I try to get the perspective of the mouse nose with the mustache, and then I just gave up. Hold on. Let's make it a little better.
I'm just curious, because I know Major's a dad. Would you put that on your fridge?
There's a philosophy around what makes the fridge, It depends.
First off, I'm a dad too.
You haven't actually talked about it here.
I told a dad joke and had a best dad ever shirt on when Habibi was on.
Okay.
Second off, I have multiple refrigerators, so there's plenty of space for this art.
I need you to put it on your fridge later, one of your fridges. Take a picture, post it on Twitter, tag us so that I know that you did it.
Hold on. I was trying to draw his apron. The problem is I have one color and it's a pen, but this is just kind of permanent. So when we get on Kim's show, guys, you guys might want to partner up. Just lead me to the wolves. I'll partner with Kim. Yes. Now I hate it.
It's not fridge worthy anymore.
Listen, that needs to make the thumbnail.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yes.
If it was
Little
better,
Easter egg.
yes.
Well, you have to do where you hold it, but like true thumbnail fashion, you like blur it out.
No, it's just bad. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Kim, it's always fun. We'll have, I'm sure, a tea session soon, and we'll chat again as we always do. Thank you guys for checking out the video for our picks for Winterspell. We will have a day one deck list video with some day one deck lists coming out right around the start of the set. And then hopefully we'll have a sealed gameplay video around the same time as well. So I'll have myself and a couple of the additional Link people that are local here. We'll open some packs. We'll play some seals, see if we can keep up our streak of at least one enchanted per sealed video. We've been pretty lucky so far. So as always, we believe there's plenty of space at the table for everybody here at Additional Ink. There's plenty of ink to go around. If you haven't liked or subscribed before, please do. And if you've been coming back, we appreciate you. And we'll see you again next time for your next drop of Additional Ink.